Working the night shift at Petsmart was supposed to be easy. Restock the shelves, clean out the cages, make sure the animals were fed. No customers, no rush, just me and the animals in a fluorescent lit ghost town of a store. At first I liked it. It was quiet, peaceful even. Then I found the list. It wasn't in the official handbook. It wasn't an email from corporate. It was handwritten on a crumpled sheet of paper, taped to the inside of the break room door. The edges were worn, like it had been there for years. At first, I laughed. Someone must have left it as a joke. But the way it was written, rushed, desperate, like someone had scrawled it down in a panic, made me uneasy. Rules for the night shift. 1. Do not talk to the birds after midnight. 2. If the fish tanks start bubbling on their own, walk away. Do not look at them. 3. If you hear scratching from inside the walls, ignore it. Management is aware of the problem. 4. The lights may flicker between 2 a.m. and 2:15 a.m. Do not try to fix them. 5. Do not check the security cameras after 3 a.m. 6. If you hear a voice calling your name, but you are alone, do not respond. 7. At 4 a.m., the store goes silent. No matter what you hear, do not investigate. I should have listened. Rule number 1. Do not talk to the birds after midnight. The first time I heard the voice, I was in the bird aisle, topping off the seed trays. It was soft, raspy. Hey. I turned around. No one was there. The birds were awake, though. All of them. Their beady little eyes locked onto mine, unblinking. Let me out. The voice was coming from a blue and gold macasse. Its beak never moved. A chill crept up my spine. You're just copying me, right? It blinked once. Then it spoke in my voice. You're just copying me, right? My tone, my hesitation, but too perfect. Like hearing a recording of myself played back. The other birds started whispering, not chirping, not squawking, whispering. I didn't stick around. Rule number 2. If the fish tanks start bubbling on their own, walk away. It happened while I was scrubbing algae from the glass. 1 second, the water was calm. The next, it was boiling. The fish darted in panicked circles, their bodies contorting, twisting in ways that should have been impossible. Then I saw something, a shadow moving beneath the water, too large to fit inside the tank. The bubbling intensified. And then a hand, long, pale fingers, pressed against the glass from the inside. I turned and walked away. When I checked the tank, the next morning, the water was clear, but every single fish inside was floating belly up. Rule number 3. If you hear scratching from inside the walls, ignore it. At first it was faint, a light tapping. Probably mice, I told myself. But it got worse, heavier, like something big was inside the drywall, clawing to get out. Then, in the break room, it changed. Long, deep gouges, slow drags, like something was methodically raking its nails down the inside of the wall. And then, footsteps. They moved past the break room door. Heavy, wet. I held my breath. Whatever was in the walls had gotten out. I didn't move. Didn't make a sound. After a few agonizing minutes, the sound faded. The next morning I checked the wall. 3 long gashes in the drywall. Like fingers. Rule number 4. The lights may flicker between 2 a.m. and 2:15 a.m. Do not try to fix them. At exactly 2:07 a.m., the lights started flickering. It was annoying, so I went to the breaker panel. The moment I touched it, the store went pitch black. Then came the whispers. Too many voices, layered over each other, coming from everywhere. Some right behind me, some above me. Then, breath on my neck. The lights snapped back on. I was alone. The breaker panel had been ripped open. Rule number 5. Do not check the security cameras after 3 a.m. I checked them anyway. At first, everything looked normal. Then camera 4, the bird aisle, glitched. Something was standing there. It wasn't human. It was too tall, its limbs too long, its head tilted too far to the side. And the birds? They were perched on it. Hundreds of them. Watching. The screen went black. Then I heard the sound of the office door slowly creaking open behind me. I didn't turn around. Rule number 6. If you hear a voice calling your name but you are alone, do not respond. It was near the dog food aisle. Hey. The voice was familiar. My manager, Steve. I turned, relieved. Hey man, you here early? Silence. No one was there. Then, from right beside my ear, giggling, I ran. Later, I checked my phone. Steve had called in sick that night. Rule number 7. At 4 a.m., the store goes silent. No matter what you hear, do not investigate. At exactly 4 a.m., the store went dead, silent. No hum of the freezers, no rustle of the animals. Nothing. Then came the noise. Wet footsteps, slow, deliberate, moving through the aisles. Then, a low, rasping breath. I clenched my jaw, squeezed my eyes shut, stayed perfectly still. The footsteps stopped right behind me. I could feel it there, looming, breathing. Then, as suddenly as it had started, the silence lifted. When I finally turned around, I was alone. But there were wet footprints on the floor, leading into the dog food aisle. I don't ask questions anymore. I don't check the cameras. I don't fix the lights. And I sure as hell don't talk to the birds. I just follow the rules. Because I don't know what happens if you break them, and I don't want to find out.